Jeopardy! Fans unhappy with Ken Jennings' return? Most Jeopardy! Fans were looking forward to Ken Jennings' return. He went on an extended hiatus in early May. At the time, he took to Twitter to warn fans that his break would last for months. Actress Mayim Bialik held down the fort during that time. Some fans think she hosted the game show too long. Some of them were begging for Jennings to come back soon. He made his big return on Monday, July 18th. However, some fans are regretting their wish. They called out the champ for not sticking to the rules. Read on to learn more. What did Ken Jennings do? Jeopardy! Fans are wishing that Ken Jennings didn't make a return. They're upset with him for making the same blunder that Mayim Bialik made during her episodes. They took to Twitter to call him out for failing to enforce rules. They noticed an inconsistency when it comes to accepting responses. Ken Jennings returned to Jeopardy! This week after Mayim Bialik hosted the quiz show for the past 8 weeks. At the time of this writing, the permanent hosting position is still undecided. An announcement is expected to take place during the season 30 finale. Jeopardy! Fans have been closely comparing Jennings' hosting style to Bialik's. Some noticed that the Blossom alum made many blunders during her tenure. However, they also noticed that Jennings is making some of those mistakes. During Monday's episode, Jennings returned from his long hiatus. Player Erica Weiner-Amachi wrote a response that some fans thought was illegible. They called out both the show and Jennings over their inconsistent rules. Some of the fans are understandably confused and would like some clarification. Jennings read the following clue. Asked to design a new set for a restaging of this 1952 play, Alberto Giacometti came up with one scraggly plaster tree. Erica wrote down, waiting for Godot. Jennings accepted her response. Jeopardy! Fans recalled the controversial episode that took place last month and slammed Jennings' decision. Jeopardy! Fans miffed over Mayim Bialik hosted episode. On Wednesday, June 22nd, Mayim Bialik was the host during that controversial moment. Former contestant Sadie Goldberger lost during Final Jeopardy! Her response was false since her writing was considered illegible. Megan Waxpress ended up winning that baffling episode. One fan took to Twitter to recall that episode and compare it to the latest one. Other Jeopardy! Fans took to Twitter to share their frustrations. Most of them stated that they were confused by the rules as well. Others wondered why contestants can't enter their responses with a keypad rather than write their responses by hand to lessen the confusion. Both of these incidents took place during Final Jeopardy, where they have 30 seconds to handwrite their final response to win the game. What are your thoughts on Ken Jennings' return to the show? Do you think Jeopardy! Should be called out for its inconsistent rules? Did you notice the inconsistencies as well? Sound off below in the comment section. When Ken Jennings first stepped behind the iconic blue lectern as a guest host of Jeopardy! In 2021, many viewers greeted the transition with cautious optimism. A titan of trivia and the show's most celebrated champion, Jennings carried the weight of Jeopardy!'s rich history and the monumental task of succeeding Alex Trebek, a beloved television institution for over 3 decades. But fast forward to 2025, and Jennings' role as the full-time host has sparked a surprising undercurrent of discontent among segments of the show's passionate fanbase. So what exactly is behind the brewing frustration? And why are some longtime viewers voicing concerns about the stewardship of America's favorite quiz show? A legacy hard to follow. To understand the rift, one must start with Trebek's indelible mark on the program. Known for his understated wit, intellectual gravitas, and near-surgical precision with even the most labyrinthine trivia, Trebek was more than a host. He was Jeopardy's heartbeat. His passing in November 2020 left a void that no single successor could hope to fill without scrutiny. Jennings, with his unparalleled record of 74 consecutive wins and over $4.5 million in earnings including tournaments, seemed like a natural heir. His deep reverence for Trebek, encyclopedic knowledge, and history with the show made him a sentimental favorite. Yet, sentimentality has not insulated him from criticism. The critiques, stiff delivery, and overfamiliarity. One frequent complaint from disillusioned fans is Jennings' perceived stiffness compared to his predecessor. While Trebek's demeanor blended gravitas with charm, critics argue that Jennings sometimes comes across as overly rehearsed and less spontaneous. Ken is brilliant, no doubt. but he doesn't have the same conversational ease Alex had when interacting with contestants, says longtime viewer Maria Sutton of Seattle. It often feels like he's trying too hard to channel Trebek rather than be himself. Ironically, Jennings' deep familiarity with Jeopardy, a trait that initially endeared him to audiences, has also fueled some of the backlash. Detractors contend that his status as a trivia titan can occasionally make the show feel less like a contest of equals and more like an extension of his own trivia mastery. It's like watching a professor grade students live on air, wrote one Reddit user in the r/Jeopardy community. There's a subtle vibe that he knows every answer, and that changes the dynamic. With Trebek, there was always this illusion that we were all learning together. The Mayim Bialik factor. Adding another wrinkle to Jennings' reception has been the intermittent hosting tenure of actress and neuroscientist Mayim Bialik. Initially, the two shared hosting duties, Jennings helming the regular syndicated episodes and Bialik leading primetime specials and spin-offs. Bialik's exit in late 2024, amid creative differences and fan polarization over her hosting style, left Jennings as the sole face of the franchise. For fans who preferred Bialik's warmer and more theatrical approach, Jennings' full-time return felt like a step backward. I appreciated Mayim's curiosity and empathy, said Samir Patel, a high school teacher from Chicago. Ann is sharp, but sometimes the show loses a bit of its soul with him alone. A changing show, a divided audience. Part of the friction stems not just from Jennings himself, but from broader shifts in Jeopardy, its tone and format over recent years. The decision to introduce more pop culture-heavy categories, incorporate celebrity tournaments more frequently, and make subtle tweaks to pacing have all sparked debates among purists. Some blame Jennings for these evolutions, perceiving him as an enabler of executive producer Michael Davis's modernizing agenda. Whether fair or not, the optics of Jennings being so deeply intertwined with Jeopardy's current regime makes him an easy scapegoat for fans longing for the Trebek era's more austere sensibility. The quiet majority. It's crucial to note that vocal dissent does not equate to universal disapproval. For every critical Reddit post or frustrated tweet, there remains a legion of fans who appreciate Jennings' consistency, deep respect for the game, and polished hosting chops. People forget how hard this job is, says former contestant Sarah Ongwain, who competed in season 40. Ken is meticulous, fast on his feet, and you can tell he loves the game as much as the contestants. I think the show is in good hands. Ratings data backs up this sentiment. Despite pockets of fan discontent, Jeopardy has maintained steady viewership under Jennings' helm, often ranking among the top syndicated programs week after week. Navigating a new era. For Jennings, walking the tightrope between honoring Trebek's legacy and forging his own identity has always been an unenviable task. As Jeopardy enters its 42nd season, the tension between tradition and innovation is inevitable and perhaps even necessary to ensure the show's longevity. In interviews, Jennings has acknowledged the challenges of following in Trebek's footsteps. "I'll never be Alex, and I don't want to be," he said in a 2024 podcast appearance. "What I can do is honor the game he loved and make sure it continues to challenge and inspire millions of people." What's next? Whether Jennings can ultimately win over anyone but